Quirk Creek Sulphur Truck Loading Procedure. Introduction. This Quirk Creek orientation will cover the sulphur loading procedure for truckers that is to be followed while at the Quirk Creek gas plant. The Quirk Creek gas plant is a sour gas plant capable of producing over 300 tons of hot molten sulphur per day. All of the molten sulphur produced must be loaded and hauled from Quirk Creek in insulated sulphur trucks. The loading facilities here are designed in such a way to allow the drivers of the sulphur trucks to do all of the loading and weighing with minimal supervision. You should have in front of you a copy of the loading procedure used at Quirk Creek, along with a short exam that is to be filled out as you watch this orientation. The written procedure is yours to keep as a reference. Once all safety orientations and exams are completed successfully, you will be carded for the year and will not require a specific safe work agreement for each load. If you have not loaded here for 6 consecutive months, the orientation must be taken again as a refresher. Hazards. There are some potential hazards present with this job that we would like to go over now. Lethal hydrogen sulfide vapors. Thermal burn hazard from the hot sulfur. Falling from up to 4.6 meters. Spills from around the spout and hatch. Static electricity can cause explosions due to the low ignition point of sulfur. Restricted visibility. Visibility around the hatch can be difficult due to steamy vapors and the use of breathing air masks. Qualifications. All drivers are required to have the following: valid Class 1 driver's license, valid TDG certificate, valid H2S Alive certificate, valid WMIS training. Special equipment. The special equipment that is required include self-contained breathing apparatus, intercom telephones at gate and loading rack, personal protective equipment, positive air shutoffs on diesel engines, escape bottle. Plant entry requirements. The plant entry requirements are: no beards, hard hats must be worn while inside the plant, no smoking anywhere in the plant, fire retardant coveralls must be worn, hoodies, if worn, must also be of a fire retardant material, safety-toed boots must be worn, all diesel engines must have a positive air shutoff, all drivers must take this orientation before loading, all electronic devices such as cell phones must be shut off. At the gate. When arriving at the gate, there are a few things to watch for before entering. First, there is a red beacon at the right side of the gate. The red beacon, if flashing, would indicate an emergency such as a gas leak inside the plant. Entry into the plant is not allowed when the beacon is flashing. There is also a yellow beacon on the left side of the gate that indicates that the gate is about to close in 30 seconds. To contact the control room, you can use your CB radio on channel 22 or the intercom telephone at the gate. There are instructions for the intercom near the phone. There are also intercom phones in the loading rack shack and the printer buildings. As you near the scale drive, there is a touchpad in the ground that should cause the red traffic lights to turn green, indicating that it's okay to drive onto the scale. Once the empty trailers have been weighed, proceed to the loading area and position the lead trailer under the loading rack only if the loading rack traffic light is green, indicating that the ramp is in the up position. After stopping at the rack, apply emergency brakes, place wheel chocks, attach the ground cable securely, lower the loading rack ramp, don the breathing air equipment, open the hatch and position the spout, open the loading valve, start the pump, and begin to fill your tank with sulfur. Watch the level carefully and shut off the pump when the level is correct for your tank. The trailer should not be filled closer than 6 inches from the neck of the tank to prevent overloading the trailer and to ensure that there are no spills. Close the loading valve. Raise the spout and put the pail under it to prevent spills. Close and secure the hatch. Observe the H2S beacon for one of 3 conditions. 1. If the H2S beacon is not flashing, it is safe to remove your breathing air mask. 2. If the H2S beacon is flashing, then press the reset on the detector to stop the flashing. 3. If the H2S beacon will not reset and the beacon stays flashing, do not remove your mask, but do use your escape bottle to leave the area upwind. Raise the ramp until the red signal light in front of the truck goes to green. The ramp must be raised fully and the loading valve closed before leaving the rack. The driver cannot leave the rack if the red light is on or the valve open, as the bar at the top of the stairs would not move under these conditions, and the signal light in front of the truck would be red. Remove the ground cable. Remove the wheel chocks. It should now be safe to move ahead and follow the same steps to load the pup. The procedure must be followed closely, as you will often be watched from the control room via video camera to ensure the job is done safely. Going back to the scale. Drive back to the scale to weigh out, taking note of the traffic lights. Leave your copy of the bill and the yellow copy from the printer in the box. Contact the control room to have the gate opened when you are ready to leave. Emergency procedures. If there are any emergencies or gas alarms while inside the plant, loud horns can be heard and flashing red beacons will be seen on various buildings. There are 2 different sounds from the air horns used to indicate gas alarms. The combustible gas alarm and horns sound like this. The sour gas alarm sounds like this. Should you hear these or any other horns, you should do the following to ensure your safety. Stop loading and shut off your truck engine. To stop the pumps immediately at any time, the emergency shut-off button on the ramp may be used. To reset this button, it must be pulled out when it is safe to do so. Contact the control room on the radio or plant intercom for further instructions. Should you need a self-contained breathing apparatus, there is one in the loading building. Miscellaneous items. Do not hesitate to contact the control room for any problems that you may be having. Be sure to use your parking brakes on scales. Zero tolerance for non-compliance. Quirk Creek has a zero tolerance for non-compliance of the safe work expectations as outlined in this orientation. Using the safe work agreements and other safety tools, you will be expected to ensure a safe working environment at all times. Quirk Creek uses a loss prevention system to enhance our safety by using a variety of tools that you are encouraged to take part in too. The system uses components such as Stop and Think Process, Job Safety Analysis Tool, JSA, Loss Prevention Observations, LPO, Near Miss and Hazard Reporting, Incident Investigations. All incidents and all spills should be reported immediately, and there are forms to be used to record the details as well. Highway 762 from the plant to Bragg Creek cannot be used by Sulphur trucks. There is a walking map posted should you need to come to the control room for any reason. Once this exam is completed, you will get an on-site orientation by your supervisor. This concludes the Quirk Creek Sulphur truck loading procedure. Drive carefully, load safely, and have a great day.